So here we go, less than 24 hours since the announcement that the Bitcoin ETFs were accepted. We've seen the ETFs go officially live in the past hour, with trading volume surpassing over 1 billion on these ETFs. Premiums for these ETFs are going up to 51,700. Over on the futures market, Bitcoin hit round about 50,000 today. On the spot market today, we're seeing a slight pullback. Let's talk about everything you need to know. So first of all, diving right into this, like we said yesterday on the channel, any pullbacks at this moment in time by retail are an opportunity to buy the dip. If you're selling at this moment in time, you're selling to ARK, you're selling to BlackRock, you're selling to Michael Saylor. We all know the gist. Yesterday we saw a nice pump up to 47,800. Retail was saying, hey, this is a sell the news event, we need to dump, we need to crash, blah, blah, blah. We went down to 45,600. This morning, the ETFs went live, and, well, what do you think the ETF managers were doing when they needed to line their funds? Did they want to buy high? Did they want to buy low? Well, of course, they're going to buy low. And who is eating up all of this trading volume on these cheaper Satoshis? Well, of course, it's all of the old heads on the ETF market, which have finally got new exposure to the cryptocurrency market. So let's talk about it. While Bitcoin on spot, Binance, Coinbase, etc. On the 1 hour time frame, you can see we zoomed up to 49,000, and at this moment in time, we are having a pullback to 47,500. Now, even if you're looking at the spot market, I don't want to overcomplicate the TA. It's very, very simple. You've got all these highs back up here. We're coming back to retest these levels. Once again, my sentiment is the same for yesterday. If you see any significant dips, like we're seeing right now, this is a great opportunity to buy back in. While we're seeing this selling volume come in on the spot market on the 1 hour time frame, if we're coming over to, these actual ETFs that have just gone live, if we're going over to the CME futures market, you can really see the selling volume is really not there compared to what the spot market is. At this moment in time, once again, there's a massive divergence between the two. Over on the futures market, Bitcoin was trading up at 49,600. The ETF markets were going up to 51,700 at the peak of their premium. So at this moment in time, once again, I would like to say, if you are selling, you're not selling to retail, you are going to be selling to these big institutional players. So really, any dip at this moment in time is for the buying. The volume that is coming in for these futures markets is absolutely insane, guys. This is going to be a quick video, not too much to update in terms of the TA from the past 2 videos, also 2-3 videos. My price targets, once again, we've already come up and hit this level, 48,560. I told you my next price target was going to be all the way up here at 53,650. Over on the futures market, that would be meaning that we're filling this massive CME gap all the way up here. So from there, I think it's pretty smooth sailing. We might get a slight correction around about 54,000, but then at which point, once again, like I said in the previous videos, I really think Bitcoin is primed to go to 70,000, have a slight, chop accumulation retest at that point in time, and then I think we're ready to really start to blast to the upside, with 100,000 coming probably in the next 3 to 6 months or so. Now, in terms of the rest of the cryptocurrency markets in the past week or so, since we've seen the news of the ETF, there's been a lot of anticipation around this. In the past couple of days, we're actually seeing the market cap for the USDT dominance decrease to the downside. Now, this is significant because what happens when you've got a large exposure to the USDT dominance? What happens if lots of people are holding USDT? Well, people are sitting in stables. So people are not really in Bitcoin, they're not really in Solana, they're not really in altcoins. Normally what you see is, the fear and greed index ties in pretty well with the USDT dominance. If the markets are, quite fearful at this moment in time, a lot of people are going to be sitting in stable coins and they're not going to be in the cryptocurrency markets. And you can see with these red and green boxes I've highlighted on my screen, let me get rid of these for now. You can see when people start to decrease their exposure to USDT and subsequently the USDT dominance decreases, what do you see? Well, in correlation, you see the total cryptocurrency market cap rally. What happens when you see an increase in exposure in USDT? And this could be with USDC as well. I just find it easier to look at with this one chart over here. When you see increases in the USDT dominance, you see crashes in the total cryptocurrency market cap in Bitcoin and your altcoins, etc. because people are sitting on the sidelines for their favorite cryptocurrencies. But right now, guys, as you can see, I'm going to have to update this chart because as you can see, we are now in a massive, massive downturn for the USDT dominance. People are absolutely getting rid of their stable coins. They're jumping back in the market. This is on the retail side of things. So once again, some retail traders are, decreasing their exposure to Bitcoin after we've been seeing these, 2% rallies, 5% rallies, etc. I really think institutions are going to take it a lot higher than here. But as you can see, we're seeing a massive breakdown on the USDT dominance, and subsequently the total cryptocurrency market cap is just absolutely flying at this moment in time. So things are looking very nice. We've broken down from the uptrend which has been taking place throughout the entire bear market. This was one of the reasons, throughout the bear market that we were very cautious. We were a little bit bearish because, people were just increasing their allocation to the USDT dominance. People were holding many stable coins. They weren't really flowing into the cryptocurrency market, in the past couple of months or so. We've seen a monumental change in that, and because of this, we are absolutely zooming to the upside. We've broken to the downside of very key support on the log chart. We are now coming down to the 200-week moving average, around about the 5% mark. If we lose this, I think we're going to start free falling. We've already lost the bull market support bands, indicative that we are in a bearish downturn right now for the USDT dominance, and subsequently the total cryptocurrency market cap should start flying. At this moment in time on the total cryptocurrency market cap, you can see, if we're looking at the left side of the screen and we are looking at these volume profiles, we are trading on a very thin layer of liquidity in previous volume traded around these regions. So it's no surprise to see, we spent a very long time accumulating where there's lots of volume clusters down here. We spent, a couple of weeks accumulating where there's a volume cluster here. Really, there's not too much. The next peak is going to be around about the 618. This is also a nice round psychological number backed up by a Fibonacci right around the 2 trillion mark. That's where I'm going to be eyeing up, 2.15 trillion to be specific. For the total cryptocurrency market cap, that would be meaning about a 21% increase to the upside. However, if you're picking the right altcoins, I think there are some altcoins which will absolutely outperform that. We're going to start off with Solana. This is the main one we've been covering on the channel. Over on the daily time frame, you can see we came back and retested this very nice uptrending line of support. Let me get rid of this to make it simpler. Daily EMA ribbons, we are holding these at this moment in time since the most recent correction, and we are pushing up. If we come over to the 4-hour time frame, you can see the next level that I would be eyeing up is the 618 fib at $111. Now, one thing that's very interesting, we've been talking about this target a lot for Solana. If we're now drawing the fib from the high down to the most recent low, you can see if we've got a nice 2 extension all the way up here, we could potentially be moving up to $168 in the next month or so. Now, if we come over to Solana on the higher time frames, the macro, the fib on the weekly time frame from the high down to the bear market low, the 618 fib is right here. Depending on what exchange you're looking at, this can be anywhere between $165 and $169, which is in beautiful confluence with this 2 fib extension all the way back up here. Now, one thing that is going to justify its own video coming very soon, potentially today. I've been waiting for a few different things to develop. One of them was the ETF, and now we've finally seen the ETF been approved. Now we're seeing the total cryptocurrency market, the total altcoin market start moving up while Bitcoin is starting to fly. I think there's going to be a lot of interest in altcoins. Basically, my thesis of yesterday's video is the reason why altcoins will fly is because a lot of people are going to be wanting to make gains on the cryptocurrency markets. A lot of eyes are on crypto right now, but not everyone. I know you can buy Satoshis, but most people are going to be looking at, hey, I can't afford one whole Bitcoin for 49,000. What I can afford is Kadena. What I can afford is Solana. And that's why I think eyes are going to be on these blue chip cryptos. So, the trend, since we've been covering Kadena, we started covering this around about $6, $6.50 or so. This has been in a bearish trend over on the weekly. If you're looking at the bull market support bands, EMA ribbons, all the moving averages we were looking at, stochastic, every single time we made a high when we were covering this at $7.90, it broke down, it made a low, it made a lower high, it broke down, it made a lower high, it broke down, it made a lower high, it broke down, it made a lower high. We've finally seen the first indication that the trend is changing for Kadena. So at this moment in time, we have flipped above the weekly EMA ribbons for the first time in the entire bear market, and we've come down on the weekly time frame at $1 and retested this. If we close off this week above $1, then I think that's going to be a very good indication that Kadena is starting to warm up. And as you can also see, we are now above the bull market support bands, holding very, very nicely. So I am going to be looking at picking up some Kadena at these prices. Once again, you know, we started covering this round about $6.50. We sat on the sidelines while this went down 95% even though we're buying now. I always told you this. I'm not willing to catch a falling knife on some of these altcoins. I would rather miss out on the first part of the rally and buy in when I feel comfortable that I'm not going to be flushing my money down the toilet for the next 6 months. This is how I look at most of these altcoins. Once again, it's about an 80% discount since when we started covering Kadena. So definitely a lot better than, you know, DCAing at $5, $4, $3, $2, and then, you know, once again, maybe you DCA down at 30 cents or something like that. But if you've been DCAing this entire bear market, you know, since the top up at $30, you've probably got a long way to go until you'll break even. So that was my thesis on why we've been sitting on the sidelines. But now Kadena is undoubtedly heating up on the on the daily time frame, up about 5%, on the weekly having a very, very nice bounce. So I'm still definitely a little bit more focused on Solana at this moment in time. I've been more focused on Solana in the past couple of weeks just because the outperformance on Solana against Kadena has been absolutely insane, and the gains that we've been making while we've been sitting on the sidelines for other altcoins in the SLP ecosystem is just absolutely crazy. If you've been, you know, watching my calls and, you know, playing around with different altcoins we've been talking about, you know, yes, Kadena has gone up, let's say, you know, 30% in the past week, but we've been talking about altcoins, SLP tokens on the Solana ecosystem that has done, you know, a 2.5x in the past couple of days. It's up 131% in one day. We've been talking about, you know, CA, which did about a 5x. One new cryptocurrency which I want to talk about. I'm going to keep it very simple because we talk about this a lot in more detail over on my Discord. If you want to come join that, feel free to come over to my YouTube, click on the About section, and you can find an invite to my Discord. We've got an official Solana channel down there. We've got an official Kadena channel down there. So if you're just interested in Kadena, if you're just interested in Solana, there's going to be other people in specific channels which have the same interest with you that you can go and talk about the ecosystem with. So feel free to come and join over there. Like I said though, in my opinion, I still think Solana is going to outperform Kadena in this bull run. However, I'm definitely going to pick up some Kadena just in case that thesis is wrong. But these SLP tokens are going absolutely crazy right now. My two major bags are going to be in WIF and CHONKY. I haven't talked about CHONKY on YouTube. I've only talked about it in the Discord. Right now, this is looking very, very nice. We've just had an explosive rally, a very nice accumulation range, and at this moment in time, sitting at a 20 million market cap, I think this has lots of upside potential, potentially to move to somewhere around WIF's market cap about a week ago at 100 million, which would be a 5x from where we currently are. Now, one of the reasons why I think this is a easy 5x up to 100 million is because it's got pretty good branding. That's really all you need when you're looking at these meme coins on SLP tokens, etc. And the branding was made by Monolith. So if you're in the Solana ecosystem, if you've ever traded any Solana NFTs, you probably know who Monolith is. If you're in the Solana ecosystem and you don't know who Monolith is, you've probably been sleeping underneath a rock, but his name carries weight, the branding is good. Once again, when we're talking about meme coins, we're not necessarily looking at fundamentals. We're looking at, you know, which is the funniest picture, which has the best community, which, you know, has the most autistic vibes. At the end of the day, it's not an insult or anything like that. Autism is literally a superpower when you're looking at the meme coin markets. It's basically a race to see which community has the most autism, which community is the most active over on Twitter, which community shills it the most, you know, what has the best branding. And I think these two coins here, WIF and CHONKY, these are going to be the winners, with WIF already doing, you know, a massive, massive rally, up about 3.5x since we called it down at this accumulation range. We called it just underneath 10 cent. It went all the way up to 35 cent. That was a 3.5x. We told you on Discord we were selling, taking some profits. We came all the way back down to, you know, 10 cent, 5 cent. If you've been in since then, it's once again done more than 6x from the lows. So there's just a lot of money to make in these SLP tokens. The last thing that I want to touch on today is as soon as trading went live for the ETFs at the start of the trading day, you can see the S&P 500 saw a lot of sell pressure come in from the start of the trading day down to the local low. That's about a 1% dip. Remember, we're not talking about crypto. We're not talking about meme coins. This is the S&P 500. A 1% dip for the S&P 500 is quite a large drawdown, especially when it happens in 45 minutes. Now, I just find it very, very interesting to see that 1 billion worth of volume came into the Bitcoin ETFs. We're seeing a large jump on the futures market. We're seeing this massive arbitrage opportunity where these ETFs are seeing, massive, massive upside pressure, which is massively, outperforming what's happening in the spot market right now. At the end of the day, these ETFs have to get their Bitcoin from somewhere. They're going to buy it from the spot market. Yes, they can get it OTF, but there's only going to be so many people who are willing to sell. At this moment in time, liquidity, or should I say available liquidity for buyers, is going to dry up. If you're selling at this moment in time, you're selling to institutional players, you're selling to BlackRock, you're selling to ARK. At the end of the day, there's only going to be so many people who are going to be selling at this moment in time. I think more than 70% of the Bitcoin supply at this moment in time is held offshore. It's being kept out of exchanges. People are not really trading their Bitcoin as much as they previously did, probably because they understand, the value that they're holding. A lot of people, including myself, just have, a hardware wallet. It's got Bitcoin on it. It's not Bluetooth. It's slapped in a safe. They haven't touched it in months. This is kind of where Bitcoin is moving. And a lot of these ETF funds, they need to get Bitcoin. It's a one-to-one backed spot Bitcoin ETF. If billions of volume just keeps on flowing in, remember it was 1 billion in volume in literally minutes. If this continues for days and weeks and months, liquidity is going to dry up. People are going to stop selling. And then Bitcoin is just going to have to achieve much higher price targets. And people, just interestingly, it's just a thesis, maybe the S&P 500 just wanted to come back down because on the daily time frame you can see it has approached this double top from all the way back at the bull run top in the 3rd of January 2022. Also, if we're coming over to the daily time frame, you can see that we have, been forming this rising wedge. We've kind of hit the breakdown from this. We've come back up. We've double topped in terms of the rising wedge and double topped in terms of the all-time high. And you can see, we are moving down at this moment in time. I would be thinking that the rising wedge is probably going to move down to about 4,347. So with selling volume coming in to the S&P 500, with the ETF going live, I think all eyes are on Bitcoin right now. I think all eyes are on crypto. And if you see these spots like you see right now over on Bitcoin, do you know what? Before I finish this video, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna buy this dip. Okay, I just bought the dip on Bitcoin. I just bought the dip on Solana. Like I said, putting my money where my mouth is. I think any dips at this moment in time are worth buying. So for today, my friends, that's all I've got. We'll be definitely more active over the next week or so, considering how much there is to talk about, considering how much the markets are moving. I'll keep you up to date with the news. I'll keep you up to date with the charts. It's been your boy Cowboy Trades. I'll see you soon. Peace.